there's what I refer to as a leader, and then there's what I refer to as a manager. These are two completely different personality types. The reason that you think or are paranoid about the idea of managing a team is likely because as an entrepreneur, I can't speak for everyone in this room, but most of you, it's very likely that you're a lot more of this than you are this. Most of you. You're more of a leader than you are a manager. I can assure you that I'm all this and none of this. Anything in our business that it's my responsibility to manage fails, and fails very fast. I'm a horrible manager, but I'm a really great leader. So what's the difference? Well, first of all, the idea is that to the degree that running a team is a big pain in the ass, it's probably because you think it's your job to manage a team, but it's not. It's not what you're built for. You're not a manager. On the org chart, fairly quickly, that's going to be someone else's role. So a leader is, a manager is somebody who can take a set of systems or structures, something that's been created, and help it run effectively over time. Optimize, keep people motivated and focused, all those types of things. A leader is needed or more effective when something needs to be created, something new, some type of change. If you think of like a village of people, maybe 1,000 years ago or something like that. If they're living in the same place, right by the same river, and they have the same foods, and they're hunting the same game, and all of that stuff, everything's been very consistent for a long time. Does it make sense that the leadership of that community is going to really need to be effective what? Managers. That's a management role to keep that humming along. But what happens when all of a sudden they have a winter and it has more snow than expected and the river floods and it's like, holy shit, we got to get inland. We got to get everything that we've got here, all of our homes and the horses and the children, everything that we own, all the furs, and we got to get about 4 or 5 miles west. Now what do we need? You better believe you need one of these now. Someone to take charge and take care of this new initiative that needs to take place, something new. So leadership is important in the beginning phase of your business. You're creating something new, yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. That's why, as an entrepreneur, I'm guessing that you're probably more of this. I can't speak for all of you, but it's likely that you're more of this than you are this. Is that making sense? Okay. So if the idea of managing your team is a pain in the ass, that's a good indication that you shouldn't be doing it. All right. Okay, so let's talk about how am I doing for time? What time is it?
8:27. Yeah, about 30 minutes.
So I'm halfway done, or I should be halfway done, right? Oh, I am, no worries. How many structures? There's 5, I'm not done the first one? Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna go through the how-to of an org chart very quickly. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to have this role of a CEO. We'll have that for now. Actually, that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Worry about the next bit later. In the transformational space, there's 4 functional areas that you need to be concerned about. If you're in a different industry, then this will be subtly different, but I'll explain the theory behind it and you'll be able to adjust. So the first thing is that what we call program development. So program development for us is curriculum design. If you're in a different industry, it's the creation of what you sell or what you do, the creation of your service, the creation and the ongoing improvement of it. That's your development. In a more traditional corporate structure, it would just be referred to as production, probably. And then we have here, what did I call that? Development?
Program development.
Yeah, development. And here you have your fulfillment. So fulfillment is about making sure that whatever it is people buy from you, that they actually get it, that it's delivered to them, or they get access, their membership, username, password, whatever it is, that this is all the functions that have to take place to make sure that people get what they paid for, And ideally, they get, in our industry, that they get the transformation that they wanted when they bought it. We good? Okay. The next one here is your sales and marketing. That's very simple. That's just making sure that the ideal audience that you're attempting to serve is buying your stuff. All the functions that take place to make sure people are buying stuff from you. Good? What's the last one? Oh, yeah, right. Almost forgot. The last one I call operations. So operations is simply, it's mostly administrative functions. But the role of these functions are everything in your company that needs to be done to make sure that these three can operate effectively, that they're communicating amongst each other and that they each have what they need to operate and function properly. Your counting will be in here. Often people like to put their client care issues in here, all that type of stuff. Your HR will be in there, everything like that. Good? All right. So remember, what we want to do, or the next step, once you have these categories, or if you've slightly modified it for your industry, that's totally fine. What you want to do, the next step, is to brainstorm all of the functions in your business, everything that's done in your business currently, start with that, and you're just going to list them under one of these 4 headings. So you'd have a list here, a list here, a list here, and a list here.
S&M was sales and management, or was it?
Sales and marketing.
Marketing.
Uh-huh. So, but keep in mind that once you've determined all of the functions that you're doing right now, is that sufficient, yes or no?
No.
No, it's not. That's the mistake that almost everybody makes, is that they create a structure that supports what they have currently, and then they wonder why they struggle with growth. It's because they have a structure that's already at full capacity. If your salespeople are already making as many sales as they can make, and your client care is already handling as many issues as it can, and you're already doing as many workshops as you can do in a year, where's the opportunity for growth there? There isn't. You've got to create the structures for what it is that you're building long term. So you're going to want to add in functionality or functions, your best guess of functions that will exist in your business, where you're taking it, not what exists right now. So, an example, right now in your business, there may not be a differentiation between accounting and bookkeeping, but there will be. So you're going to need to clearly differentiate those as separate functions, as an example. We good? Yeah? Okay. All right. The next step, so you've flushed out all the different things that you do in your company. So the next step is to take sets of functions and try to group them into roles. So you want to take sets of functions that are similar or that take a similar skill set or similar knowledge and package them together into specific roles. Let me see if I got any examples here. No, I didn't. But let's see. Okay. So in our business, what would be an example of that? In our curriculum development, we would have all of the, in fulfillment, for us we do live events, right? So anything, any of the functions that have to do with the experience or the experience that people have while they're at the event, as far as learning what they've paid to learn and all of that stuff, we group all of those things together under a role called trainer. So in our organization, there's a few different people. They have this label as a trainer. And what that means is they get up on stage with their notes and their flip chart and markers, and they do something similar, although most of them will do a much better job than I'm doing, something very similar to what I'm doing right now. And that's their responsibility, all the functions that go in with that, whether it's learning the scripts, editing them, or whatever.